Okay, I believe we should be good to go. Um, yeah, so welcome everybody. This is the Thursday edition, the final one of the week of Live Dogs. Of course, I am your host, Nick Mazone. We're coming off 2 good days here. We went 3-0 on Tuesday, and yesterday followed it up with a 3-1 day. We hit on the Angels at plus 160, the Royals at plus 110, and then thankfully Tyler Hero had the game of his life, and we were able to hit on the Heat at plus 135. Our only loss was the Nationals and Phillies game, which seems like I just cannot get that series right at all. I feel like it seems like half my losses on the show are just from that series alone. But regardless, 3-1 plus 3.05 units on the day. So far this week, we're up just over 5.5 units. Thanks for these last 2 days. Hopefully we can close it out on a strong note. I will not be playing it safe. I do have some 4 picks for you guys today. Hoping to make this good week a little bit better. So, yeah, I mean, we can get straight into it. First pick of the day, we do have a pick 'em. Not necessarily an underdog, but a pick 'em here at Mets minus 110 versus the Nationals. Mets are pitching David Peterson, who's 5-2 this year with a 3.8 ERA, 1.29 WHIP, and he's going up against Patrick Corbin, who's 2-6 on the season, with a 4.76 ERA and 1.53 WHIP. So I feel like a lot of the value in this game, the reason why the Mets aren't favored by more is just because it is Patrick Corbin pitching. The name carries some value, but if you look at the numbers, he's not having that good of a year. 2-6. Obviously, wins and losses isn't directly on him, but he is flirting with a 5 ERA. Obviously, something that you want to improve on. But David Peterson's having a pretty good year, kind of flying under the radar for the Mets. So despite the name of Patrick Corbin, there definitely is a pitching advantage for the Mets here. And also an advantage for New York at the plate. In the last 2 weeks, the Mets rank 3rd in batting average and on base percentage, while also ranking 7th in slugging. And meanwhile, the Nationals are coming back at 9th in batting average, 9th in on base, and 11th in slugging. So it's not like the Nationals are a terrible team at the plate. It's just that the Mets have been one of the best. So I definitely like the batting advantage there. And also, I don't have the numbers to put on screen, but the Mets have been hitting lefties pretty well also. So something to look into there. And can cap it off by going into the bullpen. Excuse me. Mets, not the greatest bullpen, but neither are the Nationals. Mets rank 18th in ERA and Nationals 19th. Mets 14th in batting average against, Nationals 22nd. And Mets are also 24th in WHIP, while the Nationals rank 23rd. Once again, all in the last 2 weeks. So pretty much no advantage here in the bullpen. Neither one is that good. Actually, you could say they're both probably pretty bad. But if you really have to break it down, I do think the Mets have the slightest of advantages in the bullpen. So basically, I just see a starting pitching advantage. Like I said, despite the name value of Patrick Corbin, a definite advantage at the plate, albeit the Nationals still hit the ball well recently, and basically an even, perfectly even bullpen. So I really don't think this line should be a pick 'em. I do think the Mets should be favored. So I'll be taking the Mets at minus 110, excuse me, for the first pick of today. And with that said, we can get into the second pick. Maybe my favorite of the day, actually. White Sox plus 120 versus the Indians. White Sox are sending out Dallas Keuchel, who's 6-2, with a 2.04 ERA and 1.1 WHIP. And he's going up against Zach Plesac, who was having a very good year. Not to discredit him, 4-2 on the season with a 1.85 ERA and 0.78 WHIP. So I'll actually go far to say that Plesac probably does have an advantage here when you just look at these guys' numbers and the breakdown. But Dallas Keuchel barely has a 2 ERA. He's doing really good as well. So it's just two pretty good starting pitchers. Like I said, the advantage to the Indians here, but the White Sox aren't sending out a scrub, so probably a pretty minor advantage. But you go into batting, and the White Sox are 10th in batting average, 12th in on-base percentage, 9th in slugging. Pretty good there. And then the Indians coming back towards the bottom of the league, 18th in batting average, 22nd in on-base percentage, and 19th in slugging. So I'd say this is probably where a lot of the value in my eyes comes, and it's at the plate where the White Sox are a top 10 team, while Indians are down towards the bottom, probably a bottom 10 team, or flirting right around the line anyway. We can go to the bullpen numbers too, and this is an even bigger advantage for the White Sox, who are 4th in ERA, 6th in batting average against, 11th in WHIP. So you see another top 10 bullpen going up against a bottom 10 bullpen with the Indians, who rank bottom 5 in ERA, batting average against, and WHIP, all three of those. So, like I said, it's a relatively even starting pitching. I would lean a little bit the advantage to the Indians, but a clear batting average, or a clear batting advantage, clear bullpen advantage. Definitely like the White Sox at plus 120. And also the White Sox are one of the few teams actually fighting for something left in the MLB, maybe an extra little motivation factor as well. So I'll go with the White Sox at plus 120 for my second pick. And this is where we can get into the third pick. Biggest underdog on the show today. It's the Marlins at plus 150 versus the Braves. I just want to get out in front of this and say this is definitely my least confident pick. I don't usually bank on something like this. I'll get more into it, but yeah, I'll get into it. But Pablo Lopez is pitching for the Marlins. He's 5-4 this year, 3.96 ERA and 1.22 WHIP. So relatively good numbers there. Slightly above average numbers for Pablo Lopez. And he's going up against the rookie Ian Anderson, who was 3-1 this season with a 2.36 ERA and 1.05 WHIP. So actually, I'll get into it after I show you the bullpen numbers. But one thing I will say, Ian Anderson, as a rookie, is doing fantastic. I don't want to take anything away from him, but he has been struggling recently. In his last 4 starts, he had one quality start. But if you take those other 3 starts of his last 4, he has a combined 13 2/3 innings pitched, having allowed 14 hits, 9 walks, and 9 earned runs. So, I mean, definitely trending in the wrong direction, but that also just goes to show how good he's been with his numbers still looking like that. But we'll go into the bullpen, and this is where I got to throw in a little bit of the disclaimer. The Marlins probably the worst bullpen in baseball, ranking bottom 2 in ERA and batting average against in the last 2 weeks, and also bottom 3 in WHIP, while the Braves hovering around the middle of the pack, 9th in ERA, 16th in batting average against, and 18th in WHIP. All right, so I get it. The Marlins bullpen is terrible. Why am I picking them against a Braves team who they're number 1 in batting average in the last 2 weeks? I'll get into that too. But why am I picking this team? And it's basically because I don't think the bullpen has to play a big factor. Pablo Lopez has gone 7+ in 2 of his last 5 starts. I'm hoping he can go at least 6 today. And I think it's possible. I mean, he's been doing it a little bit recently. And like I said, Ian Anderson has been getting knocked around. But I do think that Pablo Lopez can go deep into the game and limit this bullpen from actually making an impact, because obviously they are so bad. And that's the reason why I said this pick's probably my least confident. It's because I'm banking on Pablo Lopez to go 6 or 7 strong. So I just feel like I should be transparent there. And we get into the batting. They're 2 of the best in the league. Marlins 6th in batting average, 6th in on base, and 12th in slugging, while the Braves are the best teams in terms of batting average the last 2 weeks, 2nd in on base percentage, and also 2nd in slugging. So like I said, if it gets to this bullpen, who's one of the worst in the league, if not the worst, going up against one of the best offenses, if not the best offense, definitely could get shaky for the Marlins. So like I said, banking on Pablo Lopez. I think plus 150, the line is worth it, worth a sprinkle anyway. But, I mean, it's 2 elite offenses, and I'm banking on Pablo having a decent outing. I think plus 150 gives good enough value to back it. That's the only reason why I am. And, yeah, we can get into the last pick, the 4th and final pick of the show and of the week. Rangers plus 110 versus the Astros. If I'm picking the Rangers, you guys know what that means. It means Lance Lynn is on the mound, because I will never go with the Rangers without Lance Lynn pitching. So They're plus 110. I think that's good value, especially because Lance Lynn's having a good year. He's 6-2, 2.53 ERA with that sub-1 WHIP. While he's going up against Christian Javier, 4-2, 3.33 ERA, and also a sub-1 WHIP. So I'll get straight into it here. Christian Javier is having a very good year. Don't get me wrong, but I just think Lance Lynn is built a little bit different. I'll definitely give him the advantage. And other than that, it's pretty much an even matchup in terms of the numbers. Excuse me. Rangers 26th in batting average, Astros 29th in batting average. Rangers 28th in on-base percentage, Astros 30th in on-base percentage. Rangers 21st in slugging, Astros 27th in slugging. I mean, it's pretty much even. They're both really bad. The Rangers maybe a little bit better, but really nothing special about being the best of the worst here. And also can go into the bullpen, where pretty much an even wash there as well. Rangers 14th in ERA, 15th in batting average against, and 15th in WHIP. So pretty much dead middle of the pack in the last 2 weeks. While the Astros 10th in ERA, 20th batting average against, 13th in WHIP. Kind of bouncing around, but still pretty much right in the middle of the pack. So, yeah, I mean, it's a very bad Astros offense, very bad Rangers offense. Bullpens are even, but I do get Lance Lynn. Like I said, I'm a big Lance Lynn guy. He's going up against arguably the worst offense in the last 2 weeks. So definitely think that plus 110, plus 115, whatever this line's at now, is definitely worth a bet. Banking on Lance Lynn going 7-8 strong. But the bullpen is reliable, so I'm not too worried if he has to go to it early. So yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. 4 picks. I'm hoping to end this week on a strong note. Like I said, we're up over 5.5 units this week alone. Also ended last week at positive 5.5 units. So could be a couple of good weeks here. And I feel pretty confident about these ones. Like I said, maybe not the Marlins plus 150 so much, but worth a play given the line. But I do like the other picks pretty well, and I'm hoping to end this week on a good note. So yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. For people that are looking forward to the big UFC card this weekend, we got 2 title fights on the card. Should be an absolute banger of a card. One of my favorite fighters is Adesanya fighting, as well as some other good fighters as well. So you can tune in for my picks on that tomorrow night at 6 p.m. I'll be previewing the main card, as well as some undercard picks as well. So definitely tune into that. But if you're not a UFC guy and you're just looking for these underdog picks, I will be back next Monday at 11 a.m. So hopefully I see you guys tomorrow. But if not, hopefully I see you guys next week. Good luck on everybody's picks, and hopefully I'll see you soon.